Hey guys, what's up? Today I got a new build for penguins. This is post Brothers of Legends. We got a brand new card to show off. It's our new equip spell, Penguin Sword. Let me get it into frame. Damn, I go really low. Yeah, Penguin Sword's our new card. So what it does is you can equip only to a penguin monster, and that penguin monster gains 800 attack. And when the equipped monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can return one card your opponent controls to the hand. And, of course, with no penguin, it should be banished, I believe. Or maybe no penguin is just specifically monsters. I don't remember, actually. And then if a card leaves your opponent's field, whether it's like in the hand or banished because of a penguin monster, then that card's effects are negated until the end of the next turn, or until the next turn. It's a pretty decent continuous spell. If they like summon one of their I hit the camera. If they summon one of their starters and you banish it with like Penguin Soldier, and using Penguin Brave during your opponent's turn, it's negated for that turn, and then like their recursions get a little weird, depending on the matchup and whatnot. Especially like Eldritch with like their traps and stuff like that, or whatever back row decks that have recurrence, stuff like that. It's a pretty interesting choice. I thought I'd run it, give it a try. So starting off, we play one puny penguin for our recurring combos. With Penguin Squire, you can set this, and then summon Penguin Squire, and then flip him face up, and then when you link him away or synchro him away or whatever it is, once he's flipped face up, once he leaves the field, you summon any penguin monster from the graveyard except for him, and that is a mandatory effect. So even though he is a one effect, he will not miss timing because it's mandatory. Someone said that previously, like a long time ago in a penguin video, and I just never like rectified it. But yeah, there's your answer, Mystery Man. Moving on, we have 3 penguin soldiers. I play 3 because I think it's advantageous to play 3 because you're always going to set the first one off of the Penguin Brave when it's synchro summoned. And I think it's good to have 2 left in the deck in case you go Emperor Penguin later, and then you go, you know what? I need some extra negates. I need some extra like stuff on field to really like make it annoying for my opponent. So you tribute the Great Emperor Penguin, summon the other 2 penguin soldiers, and you summon Totally Awesome. Other than that, you could really like find a way to cycle through like 1, maybe 2. If you don't really want to play the Toad, then you can just play 2. Moving on, we have our 1 Penguin Ninja. I originally played 2, then I cut them down to 1 because 2 seemed like a bit much. It is great to banish spells and traps, or even like return traps to the hand so they can't like activate them or whatever. But like he just doesn't come up that often. It's mainly like his flip effect that you want to use, and because we have a Rhoda and the Great Emperor Penguin to bring him out from the deck, like running more than 1 just seems like too much. And when you draw 1 and like you summon the other one from the deck, like the other one's like in your hand doing nothing. So that's my only gripe with him, but he's still really good. We have 2 Glacial Penguins. This is like one of the main guys in the deck. He's like I want to say he's one of the main ones you're bouncing with, because like special summoning him is not that difficult. There's like things like Marincess Anemone and stuff like that, or Great Emperor Penguin. You just special summon him, and then like the what's it called triggers, the no penguin triggers, and then you banish a monster your opponent controls, and then when he's destroyed, he bounces any card they control, and on top of all of that, he's the level 3 tuner. And a recurring theme in the Penguin deck is that they're all level 3s, and Penguin Brave is a level 6. So he's like the main one to tune with. And the other main one for our non-tuner to tune with, to the synchro summon, is Note Penguin, the absolute greatest in the deck. Whenever a Penguin card is activated, or a Penguin monster is activated, he is mandatory Chainlink 2 from the graveyard to summon himself. Any card that would be returned to the hand by a Penguin effect is instead banished. He's a really good monster. He's like a constant every turn free monster. He's like a free monster to link away, free monster to use for synchro summons or even XYZs, whatever you want. Like he's just extremely like versatile, and he's like constantly coming back. The greatest of all time to do it. He literally has great in the name. Great Emperor Penguin. There's no once per turn on him at all. As long as you can keep looping him, you can tribute him and summon any 2 penguins from the deck except for himself. And like, it's pretty insane. Like, the more and more penguins we get, because you could just constantly summon crazier and crazier penguins. Depending on what you have and like what's in the graveyard and like how you can work around. Like, there's so many different things you can do that can just end on like a combination of just so many crazy boards. It's absolutely insane. Like how many choices it gives you to like to how many boards you can make. I really like enjoy that about him because there's so many different ways you can go about it for so many different matchups. Moving on, we have I wouldn't say he's as important as Great Emperor Penguin, but he's definitely like up there. Penguin Squire, he's like something the deck really needed, because like waiting a whole turn to flip a monster or waiting for your opponent to react to flip a monster, but he lets you flip a monster during your turn, whichever penguin you want, and then he's also a free special summon. You get to modify levels, so you can always play around with that. There's a lot of cool things you can do. The only drawback is he can only be used for the single summon of a water monster, but that doesn't really matter because there are a lot of strong water monsters, so we don't have to worry about. And because he starts at level 5, you can reduce his level by 1 or 2, making him 4 or 3. 3 being the magic number for Penguin Brave, 5 being the magic number for something like Guide or Gradle Dragon, and stuff like that. It just makes him so versatile to whatever situation you need. That's it for our Penguin lineup. Next we have 3 Psychic Wielders. We don't play any trackers. I was thinking about playing Emergency Teleport, but I'm at like a couple cards over 40, so I was like, yeah, it's probably no point. But Psychic Wielder is there's not that many level 3 tuners, especially ones that summon themselves. But as long as you draw a level 3 not tuner, then you can just normal summon it, special summon this, and then you could even like special summon him just to have as an extra like body for later or whatever. But he's basically just a level 3 tuner that's free. Right now we don't play a lot of level 3s that aren't tuners, but I still think he's very good to have, and like I've tested some builds online, and like he'll get better. He'll get better later, but right now he's still very like necessary, I'd like to say. Next we have 1 Icejade Octi. I've grown to really not like her because of her level. She's level 4, and once we get the Icejade that's level 3, then things are going to get really like better for us. But for now we play the 1 of, because we play 3 Tremoras, and we don't want our it'd be a shame if we didn't take advantage of Tremora's second effect, and if Icejade Cradle only had 1 search target, then things would be kind of weird. So I think it's just for the best that I play like the 1 of, and she's better than the other one. Like I can discard whatever water monster in my hand that I'm not using to draw a card. That's cool, I guess. And then like, every time, like once you have these 2 in grave, whenever water monster I control gets destroyed, then I can banish Tremora, bring this back, and then like discard whatever, draw. Maybe I'll draw into another Cradle and get another Tremora, and just constantly go through that loop. But the main one that you want to look out for is the Tremora itself. The Tremora itself. You can send it from hand to grave to summon any water monster from your hand. No restrictions. It can even summon itself if you draw 2 of them, which can lead to some pretty interesting plays too if you get into that. But yeah, this girl, you discard it, and then you send and then you summon Great Emperor from your hand, absolutely free, no cost whatsoever. It's like, and then if you have like other things to actually go about your plays, like you could do like 3 Great Emperor Penguins in 1 turn. It's insane. Moving on to our spells, as all of our monsters, we play 3 Royal Penguin Gardens. It's very upsetting that all the Penguin cards are like commons, or at least all the new ones. Like at least we got a couple upgrades, but it's not enough. We need a Ultimate Rare Penguin Soldier or something. But we have our Royal Penguin Gardens. This card's absolutely insane. It's exactly what we needed. It makes Green Emperor Penguin more viable, because before you have to do some crazy things with them, and it was just awkward. But on activation, you search for any penguin card. So they like thought about the head, the future of penguins, what we're getting down the line, because this searches for any card, not just monster. So this could even search for a brand new equip spell, and then its second effect, it's an ignition effect. You can activate any time. Is you can reveal a penguin monster in your hand, and then decrease its level by 1 and discard a card. So that discard is always going to be no penguin, or at least if you have no penguin. So you usually like search Great Emperor and then discard no penguin, or if you have no penguin in your hand, or if you have Great Emperor in your hand already, then you search for no penguin. You know, it's whatever, like one or the other. But most of the time, even if you don't have the Note Penguin in hand, you're still going to search for Great Emperor and just discard something else. So you can normal summon the Great Emperor and go about your turn. Oh, and this is a continuous spell. So, like, and the level modulation is on the hand or field. So you can actually, like, do some, like, pretty tricky synchro plays during your next turn. Or a later turn down the line. Next we have our 2 Penguin Swords. I thought playing 3 would be, like, too much. 2 seems like a good number. Like, I don't think it's something you have to see all the time. It's like you have to go out of your way to search it and have to run like Fairy Tale Rock should have discard a spell and search it or some nonsense like that. I think it's like something that if you draw in the right matchup, I think it could work out very well. And if not, you just side it out for like some crazier card. But yeah, like I said, I'm just trying it out, and for now, it seems like it's a very fun card to try. Next, we're playing 3 Icejade Cradles. This card's really, really cool. It's a not once per turn search card. The only condition is that the name that you search for has to be different from whatever Icejade you control, and is an Icejade names you control and in your graveyard. But if it's like turn 1, you start with 3 of these. You can search for 3 Icejades, and it doesn't matter like what they are. So you can get like the whole train going and like start looping them around like throughout like the duel as things get destroyed. It's a really cool card. It's really interesting that they made a not once per turn search card. That'll only get better and better as there's more things to search. Moving on, we have like these one of lineups for spells. I think I'll just do them all at the same time. 1 Called by the Grave, because Effect Veiler and Infinite Impermanence like kill the deck. Like if you summon Great Emperor Penguin and they hit it with that, it's a tribute for cost, so the negation follows it to the graveyard. It's terrible. It's not a fun time. So at least we can hit Effect Veiler. You know, you can call by the grave it. Monster Reborn. It's just an extender, and I like to think of it as like a savior as well, because since our Great Emperor isn't once per turn, like if something happens to our Great Emperor, then like we just Monster Reborn it right back and just try and do it again. And if it does go through, then at worst we can just use Monster Reborn, bring back Great Emperor, and then just add a totally awesome or a Dragite to our end board. And I think that's just really strong. And then Reasoning, because when you like blind Reasoning, everyone calls 4. And there's not a lot of important like spells or traps that we have that's like, oh no, we don't want to hit this, like you know, like a Red Ice Fusion package or Destiny Hero, the Wee Wee Enforcer or whatever. So the Reasoning is just extremely good, especially in like the starting with it and just blinding it. Maybe even they'll just ash it or whatever, and the ash won't even hurt. So I thought it was a pretty cool option. That's it for our spells. Moving on to our traps, we have 3 Ultimate Rare Infinite Impermanences. Impermanence, I think, is just a solid card. It's Ultimate Rare. I think no matter what the format, it's like it's Ultimate Rare, so it's like it's always going to be good. You'd like, you know, sometimes you just lose the die roll, and then you know, sometimes one Ultimate Rare Impermanence is just enough to stop your opponent's plays. Part of it's just a flex too. Moving on. Oh, and it's Ultimate Rare if you guys didn't see. Yeah. Moving on, we have 3 Paleozoic Canadia. So I really like Toad in the deck, and I was like, oh, they play Paleos with frogs because it's level 2 Aquas, and you just overlay into it. But it's also I thought about this card, and I was like, I was like, oh, it books the monsters on the field. Like, you can just reset my penguins and stuff. And that's not at all how it worked. You just books your opponent's monsters. But I was like, all right, it's still really good. Aside from that, because you know, booking monsters is it's pretty strong, especially now with like Sword Soul. You know, they summon their token, they summon the monster, and you just book the monster, and it's like they just have a token. It's like some nonsense going on. And also when you summon it back, it's a level 2 to work with, and I find it really fun to have like monsters on the board and have like a tuner and try and figuring out like what to do. Like, all right, this 3 tuner, this 2 monster, and this 3 monster is an 8, but I need this, and I got to get to this, and it's just really fun trying to figure out how to go from how to add up to these levels for the synchros. I've never really played with synchros, so in such a loose way. Like, there is no like dead set way to go about it. Like Rose Dragons, like I played it very similarly, like in a kind of loose way to say, but there was like a combo because it was like dragons. So like the Paleos being level 2s, they add a lot to it, and I just really enjoy it. I wanted to play Dinomyscus. I tried it out, but the discard was just way too much. So I was like, if I have Canadia for the monsters, then I'll play 2 Olenoids for the spells and traps. If they're playing any kind of like field spell or something like continuous spells, you can hit this. You can like hit something at the end phase. You know, maybe against Tribigade you'll hit a Revolt, or maybe against Sword Soul you hit that trap that like destroys a worm and then pops 2 cards in your field. Things like that hit really hard. So you know, trying to get them preemptively is like extremely good. And it's just another trap name to like summon off your other Paleozoics and stuff like that. And you know, I want to bump up the Paleozoics because like reasoning and stuff like that, getting them engraved won't be too bad. Oh, I almost finished everything off. I forgot to do the extra deck. That's it for the main deck. Moving on, starting with our Link 1s, we play 1 Link Grebo. This is literally only for a puny penguin when he is in whoa. Yeah, this is only for a puny penguin when he's in our combo, just so we can link it away. Most of the time I synchro it away, but sometimes you end up having to link it away, so you gotta have that 1 Link Grebo just in case. I think Link Grebo is just a strong card to have. Like you have like a nice board setup, and you just have like a Link Grebo on top, and it's like sometimes that Link Grebo is like what really stops your opponent. Not like 3 negates. Like, it's just that Link Grebo. Maroon's Coral, Anemone. I play 2 of them because this is a nice like second turn play, I want to say. Like not like the second turn of the duel, like the second turn that you're going after you like, you know, hopefully went first, establish your board, whatever, and you're going second, and it's like, all right, you have this flipped up penguin soldier, you have no penguin, you have whatever like left on the board, maybe you draw into like another like penguin, and it's like, all right, what do I do? And then it's like you link 2 monsters away from Maroon's Coral, one of them being no penguin. You can summon Glacial Penguin, you like banish a monster they have, and then bring back our homeboy no penguin, and then it's like, all right, now we have like more monsters to work with, and it's like, I just think it's a really strong card. It just helps us out. Sometimes it even brings back like a Icejade Tremor, which is level 5, to go into some weird synchro plays. It's just really good. We play 1 Link 4, and it's Boar Sword. I don't know what it is about Boar Sword, I just like having them. Like, realistically, this could be any other, like, big Link 4 is like your boss monster. Boar Sword's just my favorite. I think he just gets over a lot of things. I guess, like, Boarload outs, like, a lot of bigger problem monsters that Boar Sword cannot. But, either way, Boar Sword's the homie, I like him. For our rank 2s, we play 1 Totally Awesome, which we can go to with our Paleozoics and our Penguin Soldiers. We could even use our level 3s if we discard a card for our Penguin Gardens. So he's not too difficult to make, but I don't go into him that often. He's just like someone that comes up like mid to late game, and it's just like, yo, he's a toad on the field, and it's like, I'm low on resources, everything's banished, I can't recur anything. It's looking like it's over. Next we play, this is one of my favorites, Nightmare Shark. Actually, I put him up here. We play 1 Nightmare Shark. This guy's absolutely insane. I love him. He's any 2 level 3s, so that means our psychic wielder is always going to be live for something. And then on summon, on special summon, well, I mean, it's XYZ, he's not going to be normal summon, but on special summon or whatever, he's like, you can equip or attach a level 3 water monster from your hand or field onto him. So he's already got 2 materials because he's, you know, an XYZ, and then he's special summoned, so you can equip a 3rd. And it's like, this all sounds neg, but you can detach one, and then he can attack directly, but then he's like the only monster that can attack for that turn. Well, I think any monster can attack directly, you have to choose, but it's mainly going to be him, right? And then you put one downward over him, right? You know, then you have like 2 monsters, you have him, and then you have the downward, and then, whoa, out of focus for a second. Bam. And then you throw the Zeus on top, and you have a 2-cent Zeus, which, like, you know, some of these monsters we go into, like I said, late game, and they just blow out our opponent. Sometimes they won't even see it coming. Like, I mean, once you see the downer, they know what's up. But once the Zeus comes out, and you have 2 Sens, it's like, it's really rough. Zeus is a big monster, and just nuking the entire board twice is just really crazy, especially after you've banished so many monsters, so many of their resources. It's just a really good strategy, and he clears out a lot of things. Like, if your opponent sits a lot of like back row or something, and you go into that Zeus, like, it's over. We play, that's it for our XYZs. Moving on to our synchros, play 2 Penguin Brave. One's just not enough. Like, because his effect is on synchro summon, unfortunately. So we need the extra body for, like, you know, later, like if you want to summon another one and then set another penguin soldier, set another puny penguin, whatever, maybe even ninja if you need that. Whatever it is you need, you just summon it out and then bam. Oh, and then during your opponent's turn, when they activate a monster effect, you can chain his effect to flip a set penguin face up. A set penguin you control face up. And then, you know, it's not like they have to be like a quick effect or anything, because the penguins, once they're flipped up, their effects are activated, and you can apply them during your opponent's turn. I guess I'll do my level 8 synchros together. We play 1 Dragite and 1 Gradle Dragon. Dragite's a really good level 8. He's like Penguin Squire plus any level 3. It's not a tuner, obviously. And he's just a Speller Trap Negate, but he's like every single turn, as long as you have a water engrave, which is like basically, like, there shouldn't be any condition because everything in the deck is a water. But yeah, he's a really good card. Like, when you summon him first turn, and sometimes like if he's like staying on board, like just constantly negating a spell and trap every single turn, because sometimes you don't finish them off right away. Like, it can really hurt. And then Gradle Dragon. Someone in the comments of the last Penguin video told me to try this card out, or they said they played this card. I gave it a read, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. You can pop cards. You can he's a level 8 synchro, and you can pop cards up to the number of synchro materials used for his synchro summon. So you can pop like 2 or 3 cards. Generally it's gonna be 2 cards, sometimes even 3 cards. There's no like only monsters or only spells and traps. It's any cards you want that your opponent controls. That's a really good effect on synchro summon. And then when he is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can summon any water monster from your graveyard, but its effects are negated. Which is like it's great. It pops cards, it floats. It's pretty big. These are both 3,000 level 8 water synchros, just like cousins in arms. But yeah, this floating effect is like extremely good. Speaking of secondary effects, sometimes it's funny just to activate Dragite's secondary effect because there's no rocks, but they might get worried, like, oh, what if he has like a debut or something? That's just fun. Try it out sometimes. But yeah, his floating effect is absolutely insane. You can summon any water monster from the graveyard. The only thing is its effects are negated. It's just a matter of like using it for like XYZ materials, the synchro material, whatever. We play 1 level 9, and that is Trishula. The greatest to ever do it, the greatest that has ever lived. He's like constantly always on the ban list somehow, never banned, but just always around. Like, I love Trishula. Trishula is just like a great card. I finally get to use him. I don't love him as much as Crystal Wing, though. It's always gonna be my baby. But either way, Trishula. Sometimes you can Trish your opponent like with the right hand, and then a nice little combo. You can Trish your opponent turn 1, and that's one less card you have to worry about. Sometimes you do it late game. It's whatever you really want. It's like getting 3 level 3s on the field is just not difficult in this deck in the slightest. Like that's like using Great Emperor Penguin with like a Note Penguin in the graveyard. It's absolutely easy. So yeah, just getting that Trish off is like it's a real big game changer. It's like non-targeting banish on the hand, field, grave. It's insane. It's a little weird to say, but we play 2 level 10 synchros. We play 1. How do you pronounce this? Sword Soul Supreme Sovereign Sheng Ying. Oh, I threw him on screen, off screen. And then we play 1 Baron de Fleur. I'll start with the Cheng Ying. This guy's extremely good for certain matchups. Maybe even a lot of matchups. So whenever a card gets banished, you can banish a card from your opponent's field, non-target. Man, you have to banish from their graveyard as well. And that's like absolutely insane in certain matchups. Like zombie matchups, Eldritch matchups. Any deck that really recurs from the graveyard, like it's just absolutely insane. It's just getting rid of their cards. And then if this card were to be destroyed by card effect, then you can banish a card. So he triggers his own effect if he was to be destroyed. The Penguins, the Trishula, the Paleozoics, when they get sent from field to... when they get removed from the field after they were summoned, there's so many like things that banish in this deck, and it's constantly being triggered. And on top of that, he gains 100 attack points for each banished card, both ours and our opponents, I believe. And all your opponent's monsters lose 100 attack for each banished card. And like the combination of all those 3 effects just makes him able to like just deal with so many big problem monsters, and he's just absolutely phenomenal card. He's underrated as like all hell. Like this guy's like a couple of dollars. I think I picked him up for free. Like people are just giving this away. Like it's absolutely crazy that this card is like that underrated. This card will win you games. Like he's not something you want to summon like at the start of the duel. He's someone you want to start. You want to summon once your opponent's committed to the board a little bit, and there's stuff in the graveyard. You start banishing their spells and traps. You start banishing their boss monsters. You start banishing their recurrence in the graveyard, and it's like, like I said, against Eldritch zombies and stuff like that, it's just absolutely insane. Moving on to Baron de Fleur, who is also really good, but I think, hot take, I think he's underwhelming compared to Cheng Ying. He's still really good. He's soft once per turn. You can pop a card on the field. That's just a really good effect on its own. But once while face up on the field, he can negate the activation of a card or effect. So his Omni Negate is really good. And then on top of all that, during the standby phase, you can return him to the extra deck and then summon any level 9 or lower monster from your graveyard. So you can summon Great Emperor Penguin, start going to like... So during your opponent's turn, you have like a negate. If you want to keep him, you have a pop. And then if you don't want to keep him during your standby phase, you bounce him back. And then you have a backup play, a second turn play. You can summon Great Emperor Penguin and all that nonsense. He's a really good card. He's a little bit harder to go into because he's not a water monster. He's a wind warrior. The warrior doesn't matter. But he's a wind. That just makes him a little trickier. But if you can, he can really change the tide of the game. Along with this guy, these are just like, I don't want to say like big boss monsters, but they're like, but there's some big guys, so you don't want to mess with them. And yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, someone in the comments also recommended me this one in the last Penguin video. Thank you guys for recommending this and the Gradle Dragon. They've like changed the build significantly. I really appreciate it. If you guys have any feedback about this build in particular and have anything else I should try out, let me know down in the comments. This time I'll try to be a little bit more responsive to you guys. I never reply to you guys, but I'll try a little bit harder. Thank you guys for watching.